Man, I done got pulled over, man. I done got pulled over, you hear me? I done got pulled over. They pull me over, but they get to play that Brazy, man. Yeah. I be like, oh yeah. Man, I ain't doing nothing illegal. I'm moving legal, I'm moving right. It feel good to be a free man. It feel good to be righteous. Thank you, Jesus.
What's good, family? Sit down for this one, because it's one of those stories that looks simple on the surface, but carries a whole different weight once you peel it back. HoneyKomb Brazy was just trying to go to the store. Nothing fancy, no late night session, no industry event, no nothing. Dude was heading out to grab some groceries like a regular person, living his life. That's when Houston police decided to pull him over. Routine stop, or at least that's how it started. But the second those officers realized who they had on the side of the road, the energy shifted. Brazy had the presence of mind to hit record. And what came out of that clip is pure Houston irony. These officers already knew who he was. They weren't guessing. They weren't running the place and getting surprised. They knew the name. They knew the face. And before the interaction was even over, they started bumping his music right there. Imagine that. You get pulled over, heart rate up a little, and the same police who stopped you start playing your songs like it's a private listening session. Brazy later captioned the video with a line that hit different. Just got pulled over and it feel good to be legal. And they knew me and started bumping that Brazy. That caption ain't just a flex. That's a man acknowledging a very specific kind of freedom. The kind where the police already know your government name, already know your street name, already know the history, and still can't put nothing on you. That's rare in this city. But that video and that caption only tell half the story. The other half is what most people didn't see. I reached out to one of my law enforcement contacts in Houston, somebody who stays close to the real temperature of the streets. And what I was told lines up with everything that played out that day. Houston PD already had eyes on HoneyKomb Brazy. They knew exactly who they stopped. They went through the process looking for something, anything that could stick, and they left disappointed. Not because they didn't try, but because Brazy has been moving clean for a long stretch now. Legal, consistent, no new cases, no new problems. The kind of clean that frustrates the people who already have your name written down. And that brings us to the real undercurrent running through this whole situation. The Prince family has been sitting on Houston's active investigation list for a minute. Not casual interest, not background noise, real attention. Anybody moving in that orbit, anybody affiliated, anybody still close to that circle is getting watched closer than normal. That's the climate right now. So when officers pull Brazy over and walk away empty-handed, it isn't just a personal win for him. It's a quiet signal about how carefully he's been walking. From what I'm being told, Brazy already started creating real distance. He's been stepping back from J. Prince Jr. and the mob-ties goons. Not with some loud public announcement, not with a diss track or a social media rant, just gradual, deliberate movement. Different rooms, different energy, different people around him. The streets notice that kind of shift, even when the internet doesn't. And the people who stay plugged in say he's been linking heavier with Sauce Walker lately, trying to change the frequency of his circle and move differently. That's not soft, that's strategy. In a city like Houston, where affiliations can still get you looked at the wrong way by both the streets and the police, choosing to create space is a form of self-preservation. Brazy ain't running from anything. He's just refusing to keep the same targets on his back that other people are still carrying. Think about what that means for a second. A man who came up in an environment where the police already know your name, who still gets pulled over just going to the store, who watches those same officers start playing his music because they can't find a reason to take him, and who's quietly stepping away from the very circle that put extra heat on him in the first place. That's not luck. That's a man who understands the long game. it feel good to be legal hits different when you know the full context. It's not just about staying out of handcuffs. It's about building a version of yourself that even the people watching you can't touch. It's about recognizing when certain associations start costing more than they give. And it's about making those adjustments before the cost becomes permanent. This situation is still developing. More people are watching than most realize. The police already had their chance and came up short. The circle is shifting, and HoneyKomb Brazy is moving like a man who knows exactly what season he's in. I want to hear from y'all on this one. Do you think Brazy is truly cutting those ties for good, or is this just temporary distance while the heat is high? Does linking with Sauce Walker signal a real change in direction for him? Drop your thoughts in the comment.
Man, I done got pulled over, man. I done got pulled over, you hear me? I done got pulled over. They pulled me over, but they get to play that Brazy, man. Yeah. I be like, oh yeah. Man, I ain't doing nothing illegal. I'm moving legal, I'm moving right. It feel good to be a free man. It feel good to be righteous. Thank you, Jesus.
Brendan, all of this starting at the W.K. Wilson Bridge on Interstate 65.
Yeah, that's right, Lee. It was December 18th. The Mobile County Sheriff's deputy noticed that the sport utility vehicle had tinted windows, had pulled it over at exit 22 on I-65 in Crayola. Court records filed last week indicate that law enforcement officers found guns and drugs. An affidavit filed by an FBI task force officer says a sheriff's deputy noticed a 2022 Cadillac Escalade was in the passing lane for too long on Interstate 65 and had tinted windows. The driver was listed as 31-year-old Mobile resident Mason Fuller. Court documents say he was wearing a soft body armor labeled enforcement and had a bulletproof.
All right, Brendan, thank you. A federal judge today ruling prosecutors have sufficient evidence for a grand jury to consider gun charges against two men arrested last week, along with Mobile-born rapper Nashawn Jones. Jones, who you may know him as HoneyKomb Brazy, that's his performer name, scheduled to appear in court next week. U.S. Magistrate Judge Bradley Murray determined that charges can move forward against Mason, Fuller, and Miguel Hall. Authorities say Fuller was driving an SUV that sheriff's deputies pulled over on I-65 December 18th. They say Jones and Hall were passengers and that investigators recovered two guns. All three of those men are prohibited from having guns.